Greetings you all the beautiful viewers, and thanks for joining us on today's issue of Well in Print on the Pan-African Media TV with me, FRIDA EGBESON. Today's Monday is the beginning of a new week, and we want to believe that, trust God, you all did had a peaceful and restful night. On today's edition of the program, I will be joined on set by FANKA Samuel, who is the General President of the ISCC, which is, of course, a non-governmental organization engaged in civil education and, of course, other things. So don't go away, for we shall be right back just after the transition. So stay tuned. Welcome back, beautiful viewers. If you are just joining us, you haven't missed out on anything. We want to first of all apologize for the late start. You know, man make machines, and of course there are times that the machines that will make fail us. But the good news is that we are here on set. So if you're just sitting in front of your camera, you are live on your Pan-African Media TV. Pan-African Media TV is broadcasting live on Bouquet Crolin Canal 299. Of course, you can follow us on all our social media handles. Go to Facebook and watch us live from your office, at the comfort zone of your office, at Pan-African Media TV. You follow us on YouTube on Pan-African Media TV and all other social media handles. Today is Monday, like we were saying. It is a new broadcast of a program. It is always with renewed delight that we come each day to commune with you, knowing that you are comfortably seated in front of your television screens, waiting for us to bring you updates as recounted by newspapers around the globe. So go nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Up next is our weekly press review. We are starting with Financial Times from the United Kingdom, which has a caption this morning. Major caption of a Financial Times is saying that White House pressures offers London. White House has pressures, or U.S. government is mounting pressure onto the United Kingdom to boycott every engagement and arrangement made with the Apple company. We should remember that there are issues with the Donald Trump's administration with the Apple company. So any connection that Apple company is struggling to restart with the United Kingdom, it is the United Kingdom that is going to pay for the fallout. Away from Financial Times, ladies and gentlemen, we move over to the Yorkshire newspaper carries as a caption, Battle of Orgrave, inquiry to be held. The paper says that ex-Prime Minister has been arrested on site, hopes for trust and justice to be brought out. Away from the United Kingdom, we move over to the United States of America, of course, in Donald Trump's country, of course, with Sunday World Herald newspaper carrying as major headline, headlining 30 injured when car slams 30 in Los Angeles crowd. The paper says that the suspect was buckled out of a famous Hollywood nightclub in the United States of America, and he entered into his car and crashed 30 people standing outside the club, leaving 7 seriously injured, after which he was pulled out of his vehicle by standby police and shot dead. Away from that story, ladies and gentlemen, we move over from the Sunday Herald. We go over to Sunday's third time still in debt. United States of America, that tells us this morning, as headline says, a painful prices checks. The story says that the cost of groceries in Chicago keeps going up despite Trump's promises. They are tracking what you pay for 35 common times. Away from the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, we move over to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Africa's economic giant, with Business Day that carries us major caption. Business Day on the Sunday's edition says, carrying us major caption, that one country with two economies. The paper is saying that Nigeria's economy recovery leaves citizens behind, and says that as a cost of living crisis pressures citizens, implementing new procedures, and asking the question, with the deepening poverty rate, can Nigerians still make it out of this? The paper is saying that there has been some increase in the economic development of the country, and of course, but the standards of living are still a problem to the citizens of that country. So two economies with two people, which means that the low and downtrodden of the society are still facing the difficulties that they have been facing since the Tinubu's regime. We move over to Daily Trust newspaper, still in the Federal Republic of Nigeria this morning. On its part, its captions, high fertilizer cost, farmers dump the cultivation of rice and maize. The report is expressing fear that there might be another food scarcity in the country due to the rising cost of fertilizers. The paper says that farmers and the associations who spoke to Daily Trust newspaper said that fertilizer is not within their reach, so the cultivation of rice and maize has been dumped by them. Away from Nigeria, we move over to Kenya, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, with the Nation, with Daily Nation newspaper captioning, Riley, I'm with Ruta until 2027. Orange Democratic Movement leader made his point known that for the very first time he ruled out an early political exit from the government, while he says that he is ready to stick with the president on power until 2027, when other elections will be launched for people to cast their votes for a different Kenyan to lead the country. From that, we move over to the Star, still in Kenya, ladies and gentlemen. Star this morning is headlining Kenyans feel the pinch as family burden increases. It means that as family burdens, or in Africa, we have a tendency of having more children. As the burden increases, the citizens are feeling the pinch. Away from Kenya, ladies and gentlemen, we are landing to President Bia's country with the Post newspaper from the Republic of Cameroon this morning carrying a major caption. The Post newspaper on its major caption carries over 30 candidates deposit files for upcoming presidential elections. Like we all know, Cameroon is barely 2 months and some weeks into the 2025 presidential election to take place on the 12th of October 2025. And as now, files have been submitted at the Elections Cameroon office, a body responsible for the elections in Cameroon, and we already have 30 files, above 30 files deposited. We move to municipal updates, still talking on upcoming presidential elections in Cameroon. Municipal update is captioned in October 12 elections. Many aspiring, few are to be selected, while Guardian posts on its caption, still on presidential elections, captions this morning, October polls, Biya candidacy humiliation for 30 million Cameroonians. Like we all know that President Biya of Cameroon, who has been in power for 43 years and he is 92 years of age, is still vying to be voted as president for the next tenure of 7 years in Cameroon. So the paper is asking the question if it is a humiliation for Cameroon, of course, with an exclusive interview of a Cameroonian political analyst based in the United States of America. We are rounding up with the media newspaper, still talking about politics in Cameroon. The media newspaper carries this morning as caption, October 12 presidential elections are fragmented opposition to challenge Biya in crucial polls. This is how we saw it on our headlines journey, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go away, because we shall be coming to dive into the analytical part of the program just after this transition. So stay put. Welcome back, beautiful people. If you are just joining on, you are live on Pan-African Media TV, and the program on air is Well in Print with me, FRIDA EGBESON. Well in Print, like you all know, is our bi-weekly program that comes every Mondays and Fridays from 11 noon to 12 p.m. Today, it's true that we started with a delay, but it's said in English that better late than never. I am not alone in the house. I've been joined on set by FANKA Samuel, who is the General President of the ISCC, and he is here today to give his own contribution as the African that he is on what is making news around the world. FANKA, you're welcome to Well in Print.
Thank you so much, Madam FRIDA EGBESON, and all the televiewers that are out there. We start the world from here because we have to sensitize Africa and all the world. We know very well that this time around we are preparing nuclear civic education, which means we want all the weapons to be kept aside, and we take a new generation of civic education called nuclear civic education.
Is it non-nuclear? Non-nuclear?
No, that I'm saying nuclear in the way that we robust civic education.
All right.
Meaning that we want to do it holistic.
Okay.
Yes, that is, we use all the force, all the joint forces, and we are calling on everybody to join hands, to put hands together and look towards that sector more better than promoting other things that can keep us divisive. That is why.
So it has been a busy weekend. So how did your own go?
The weekend has been so busy. You know, many have been making social media users, they have been saying a lot about the departure of Professor Maurice Kamto from CRM to Manidem, and he has been making vibes on social media. And I think it's something that we are going to talk about it, because we have some points there concerning the upcoming elections in Cameroon. So we are just trying that this time around, communication concerning around the presidential election should be well taken care of, and you should mind what you are saying, and you should be building from your own little corner. If you are in a house, even if you are anywhere, try to build, because builders should not always, they are not always seen, but there are some builders that are behind that are so solid and keeping the nation so strong.
All right. Once more, thank you for taking out from your busy schedule inside the rains. You walked through them and you got here. That's what is good. So this morning we are going to Sunday World Herald in the United States of America. Our first analysis will take us to Sunday World Herald, which is saying that 30 people were injured. Like a man was toasted out of a nightclub, a renowned Hollywood nightclub in the United States of America, after which he got into his vehicle, then decided to plunge into the crowd standing out of the club, injuring 30 people, with 7 in very critical conditions. Oh, he was pulled out of his vehicle, then shot by police on standby. What do you think about such a reaction from an individual? Is life so worthless that a human being will decide to take life or to attempt to take people's lives in that manner?
That action is uncalled for, because we make sure that we give enough advice to people, and I think it's due to justice. When someone is frustrated in the judicial department, and you see that he finds that he has no place to live, it's frustration, and it's something that the judicial sector of the United States should take care of. And
no, it was in a nightclub, actually.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I know. Some people go and get drunk because of frustration, because they want to take another courage to do bad things. He is frustrated and going in there, therefore he meant something else. His mind was not steady. Maybe by drinking he would have drunk normally than going to drink in excess. You see that one he was trying to put things the way that he has taken another way around to act. Maybe in the taking first of all drinks, get drunk before behaving like that. So to this fact, I have to say that those who are selling drinks in the nightclubs should sell drinks with moderation, because if they just see people who are drinking to excess, they better control him and maybe take him home or lodge him somewhere so that the family can come and collect him the next day. Because allowing somebody to drink excess and wounding several people like this is a great loss, because people come to nightclub to take some air, but finally finding themselves with blood, with type of things on their bodies is not good at all.
Okay. Now, worries, everywhere has their rules. Just like in clubs, like in church, there are things you can't go to the church. A pastor cannot be talking, you're talking. So if you go in a club, like maybe you notice a deviant behavior from him, it is normal. Even in snack bars, we do go to snack bars. Let me just take the level of snack bars. They say, okay, we are pulling you out because your behavior might be deviant, and you go out, you get into your car, you say, okay, I'll vent my frustration on these people who are standing outside. My question is the action the appropriate thing to do? Because you cannot be carrying everybody you pull out of a club to their homes.
It's true. The action is not appropriate, and that somebody who has taken whiskey or is drunk doesn't have all his normal senses, and he can behave a type. That's why, as Elia said, that they should take this type of people, put them lodge them somewhere, so that in a secured place, and then it will be better. The nightclub should also think of this, because through him outside, the retaliation has done what it has done.
Yeah,
then you see the result. So retaliation at times it doesn't favor anybody.
Okay, now let's look at this Sunday Sun Times. The Sunday Sun Times is talking about painful price checks, that the price of groceries in Chicago keeps going up. The price of groceries, groceries are basic materials on which the population lives on daily basis. The prices keeps increasing. What do you think? As like, look at our own situation. we've been complaining how life has become difficult, because now you go and they give you 3 fingers of plantains, 3 malnourished fingers of plantains for 500 francs. We think the Western world people have developed, they have enough. We see now. When we look at things like this from countries that we envy, is there any need for us to be scrambling to rush to a place we live in dreams or imaginations we see on TV?
It is not so necessary, because each continent or nation should have their own system of operating. It is not all that we must take from the Western world. We know that before the Western world was resisting, the world started in Africa. You know, we have a long history that makes over more than 7 millions of years. That is what some people don't even understand. They think that the world started in the Western world. No. So Africans have their own way of operating. They know that there is solidarity, there is this, and I think but today things have changed because many people move to the cities, and making that the life in cities becomes difficult, and prices keep changing because there is no price control. If there is a price control put in place by the government, I think the price increase will not be coming usually as it is doing. So what I'm saying here is that the price control committee or department should work for the interest of consumers. If this price control department is not put in place, many countries around the world, mostly African countries, suffer from it a lot.
Yes, the population complaining.
Yes, and we also in Africa, we complain on daily basis. And that is why you see there are a lot of things around. There are a lot of little stealings. Then a woman will go to the market, buy her goods, buy her food stuff, put the bag. Maybe she wants to take a bike or do what? By turning, she don't see it there.
Somebody has collected it. On this very issue, we look at the Western world where America is like every man's dream. We complain in Africa that things are not going right. These are basic necessities, grocery. If inhabitants of Chicago can be complaining of price increase, they are complaining about groceries, which means life is becoming difficult. Despite Donald Trump's promises as he made to them, they have not noticed anything as of now. My question now, is there any need for us to be scrambling to rush to America because we think that everything there is, perfect?
It is not right. That's what I say. It is not right because we have our own culture that we have to take it up. Because if we just think that we can take everything, be wrong, scrambling to go to America, that America is heaven, I do not see it like that. We can transform our own environment and our own countries to be that type of life we want to get in America. So I don't see it that it is everything that America is doing that is the best. We see difficulties. We see the other day was flood. Then today is the groceries that the prices are being rising. You see that there is something we have to understand, that when you take the helm of a nation, the agricultural sector, you have to invest in it, so as they should be selling food stuff cheaper. Because if you don't invest much in agriculture and the groceries are rising like this, people become tensed. Your population become tensed, and at a certain moment you are unfit to control the population. But a population that is eating well and that gets in the morning, eat well, and at a cheaper rate, celebrate the president, celebrate the leaders. So when the prices keep rising, it's so dangerous. And I think the first advice I would say to Donald Trump is that he should see into this matter, because it is already a threat to his leadership.
All right, and so we'll go to Business Sunday in Nigeria. We're leaving the United States to Nigeria with the first newspaper. Sunday Business, on its Sunday's edition, says that Nigeria's economic recovery leaves citizens behind. Nigeria economic recovery leaves citizens behind. They say as cost of living crisis persists.
Yes.
Cost of living, like the same situation is repeating,
yes,
is persisting. They say deepening rural poverty casts doubts on reform gains. Now, economic reforms have brought some significant change in the country's economy, yet you see that there is persistent cost of living. the crisis. How do they explain that? We've left America, we are talking Nigeria. In Nigeria, in the US, they have complaints about the price of groceries, and in Nigeria, they're talking about cost of living persist. Now we are in Nigeria. Do you think Tinubu, the current president of Nigeria, his economy has decided to leave citizens behind? Is it the right thing to do?
It's not the right thing, because you see, Tinubu has taken to buying the luxuries, and as he intended buying another aeroplane the other time, now you see that he forgets the best part of taking care of the citizens, because the citizens need, first of all, to put food on their table. When a citizen gets up and there's no food on his or her table, he becomes mad. And this cost of living is because the economy is not well addressed. If the economy of Nigeria is well addressed and the economists are working closer with the government, I think this type of things cannot be happening. It's a call to action that Tinubu should make some human resources, so that they go to the field, humanitarian aid. They go to the field, help people that are in need, help people that they can take up, project their ways of living, and make sure that they do it correctly. Because if they don't do it correctly, it's already dangerous, and we cannot accept that these things begin to happen time and time again. Tinubu should know that his mandate, his term of office, has seen a lot of challenges, and if it touches the cost of living as it is going now, therefore it is a red card to him that he should take care. Or if not, maybe that 2027, before then, he shall have many challenges.
Okay, Daily Trust, still in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is talking this morning on its front page that on its first page they say price of fertilizers has gone out, so the cultivation of rice and maize has been dropped by farmers, because the associations who spoke to Daily Trust say that the fertilizer is no more within the reach, which is also a problem. You know, today we live in a world where farmers, people who large-scale farmers, deal a lot with fertilizers.
Yes.
And if prices of fertilizers will be this expensive to the extent that farmers cannot purchase fertilizer, that they will leave the production or the cultivation of rice and maize, is this good news for the population of Nigeria? Because we all know the population of this country. Without rice and maize, you think things will be okay? Things can really be okay?
It can't be okay. This is due to the fact that the way of doing things at the level of leadership is failing. If not, the farmers and those who are selling fertilizers, or the companies, should go out, register farmers, know their farms, know where they are working, give out the fertilizers. Then they work. Then when they are selling now, they come back now and pay back to the companies. This is the work of the government, that they make the lineage between farmers and companies, to then invest much in those companies manufacturing fertilizers. The nation should invest much in those companies that are manufacturing fertilizers, so that after manufacture they give it out to companies. They give it out to the farmers. The farmers will work during harvest. They harvest, then make the prices. The farmer will not cry again, and this it will not give threat to famine, because these are already roots getting to famine. And Nigeria should not be surprised, because of over 250 million inhabitants, to feed them, you need to invest much in agriculture. And if Nigeria is not taking good need and good strategies in putting agriculture first, they are going to fail a lot. And it is not only failing by one person. You see that many families will go astray. The scarcity of food will install, and scarcity of many things will install. And when there is no food, I'm telling you, if you are calling for me like this and I have not eaten, I won't come here. That's food on the table.
A hungry man is an angry man.
That is it. That's why you see the same thing goes in Cameroon, that people that are hungry, because the Anglophones are not having good positions in Cameroon. That is why.
Nigeria.
Yes, you are talking Nigeria, and Nigeria we shall come to that. So we are saying in Nigeria, what is on the table concerning agriculture, the government should put enough funds in those companies manufacturing fertilizers, so that they give them out to those who are cultivating maize and rice, so that the population should have a good level of foodstuffs.
Okay, you know, before people were not so dependent on fertilizer in farm work. Why is this upsurge about the use of fertilizers? Don't you think at times some of these excess fertilizers are the ones that come to contaminate food that we eat and pick up little diseases from here and there?
You know, at first they were not using fertilizers for 100 years, 200 years, or even more.
But using cow dung, goat dung, and stuff like that.
That is organic manure.
Yeah.
That's we should use. I think Nigerians should learn to use organic manure. They can cut grass around, then make a pit, put them inside, they get rotten, then put a little ground in, get rotten, then they spray it all over. But the fact is that if somebody who is working rice, and somebody who is working, the skilled farmers, the industrialized farmers, they are so many hectares.
They need the fertilizers.
They need fertilizers. And one funny thing is that breeding seed is what has turned the earth to something else. Okay. Because those breed, they are for a time, and with time you see that people start complaining. They don't even yield again. You know, from the beginning it is good, but when you take the breed seeds and be using in our soil, it doesn't work. That is what is killing our killing production and our yields in farms. So the breed, I cannot tell people to be using breed seed. Breed seeds is the problem, and with time now you see harvests become mean and it start degrading from there. Finally you see people are complaining, this year I have not harvested anything, not knowing where this problem started.
All right, so let's go to Kenya with the Star of Kenya newspaper this morning. The Star is carrying a caption. They say that Kenyans feel the pinch as family burden intensifies. Now we are talking about family burden intensifies. Kenyans are feeling the pinch. You know, in Africa we are used to having so many children, grandchildren. The more of them we have, the more children we have, the more grandchildren we have, the happier we are. Exactly. As grandparents and as parents. At this 21st century where the world has gone what it has gone and life has become more difficult and complicated, expensive than before, what will you be telling African families? Is there still room for one father to have 9, 10 children? Or people should try to streamline, because that's one of the results of this, what is happening in Kenya. You have many children and life becomes difficult. You need to pay school fees. You hear 200, 300, 500 of thousands. Should Africans learn how to streamline childbirth?
Yes, Africans should learn how to streamline childbirth. I should give my reasons. We know very well that development is coming very so fast due to the technology we have today. We have places where people were staying and farming, but today it is being inhabited by the population. The population growth is there, then the natural disaster is there, destroying our land and other things. There are some land that even you put crops there, they cannot grow. That is barren land.
Yeah, they're already barren.
Yes. So at first, in the ancient times, they knew that when you are rich, the richness starts from the family. You know, you have this type of family, you have this type of children, you begin to talk about your family, and that was richness, because there was enough land. You can take the family members to your farm, they will work, then during the yields will come there and you will meet up with their daily needs. But the need were not so demanding. But today, you see that school fees, traveling, all those things have become too high. That is why you find that life become too tough today, meaning that we should streamline childbirth. Maybe you have 2 children or 3 that you can take care of, even 1. Because if you just say people are putting to bed and you want to put to bed, okay, at the tail end, we see that the life will become so difficult. And that is at a certain moment when you move around the street, you see that some children are being put to bed and thrown. Simply because the person or the lady never knew who can take care of the child, and her means cannot take care of a child. So we are pleading that the government should do everything, because Africans are sitting on gold, are sitting on resources, and they are not managing them well. If at all Africans were managing their resources well, they will take time to give to each family a good living standard. And we cannot keep crying. Our leaders should face challenges and head on. That is, when there's a problem, our leaders turn back, and when there's no problem, they come in. That is the whole show Africans are having. If we have leaders that face problems head on, there shall be growth and progress in our way of doing things. So I'm pleading and calling on African head of states, African leaders at any level, any leader at any level, do your best. And we should look that we focus on human beings. Yes, we look the well-being of human beings, because that is where we look most. Because if you are leading people and you don't take care of them, therefore tomorrow you'll be leading but houses that they are not people. You'll be leading but the stones or rivers around. Whenever you take leadership, invest more in human resources. When you invest more in human resources, I think each family will find a better place to live in your nation.
All right, and so from Kenya, we are moving over to the Republic of Cameroon. In Cameroon, we have 4 newspapers today, and all of them are talking politics regarding the upcoming elections. So we'll start with the Post newspaper. The Post newspaper is carrying as caption, over 30 candidates deposit files for upcoming presidential elections. But what I want to do here now is to go through the write-up. So this write-up says, with Cameroon's October 2025 presidential elections approaching, over 30 candidates have officially expressed their interest to run.
Yes.
Signaling, yes, their desire for a new repetition. The same over the past week, hopefully, including incumbent President Paul Biya of Cameroon has already submitted documents to indicate the fact that he shall be running for the upcoming elections. They say, according to a list released by LECAM, 2 candidates, CPDM candidates, have submitted documents, and this might be a challenge for the ruling party. So now I want us to look a bit into this. Do you think the fact that 2 candidates have shown up, because I know the kind of noise that the candidacy of President Paul Biya has brought from far and near Cameroon, do you think this LECAM is looking at it from the point of direction of it going to be a seemingly challenge for the CPDM party? But don't you think it might still work in them, or it might still be that the CPDM themselves want to create this kind of scenario for Cameroonians to say, okay, there are 2 and they are confused, we are like this? Do you think this confusion can bring a positive vibe to the opposition?
I don't see anything positive in it. I will explain a bit, because if I'm not mistaken, I quite remember there was a time 2 candidates came from the same political party, and finally all of them were being dismissed. So I don't think that that's something. If it is still required and it is still tangible, legible today, therefore it may end up dismissing the 2 candidates from the same political party, CPTN. But we wish that they should look into things, and maybe at a certain moment given, they will come up but with one candidate, because I see here that they are still aspiring for places that with time, I think a LECAM will go into documents then and streamline those who are fit to come up for the next presidential election in Cameroon. People should not take it as if the presidential seat is not any type of a place. It's not a type of a place that any person can just go there and without a program. We know people who have been clamoring, coming out with programs before the D-Day. We get some names on the list that we have not been hearing of them. You see that if Cameroon was an elephant, no, it will finish and the citizens will have nothing. And 30 candidates already. Just take that LECAM have accepted them. Then they say, okay, we are 30 million voters. We have bet all our 30 million have not registered. Therefore, some candidates will not even have a vote. because they will vote other people, or they will, you finally see that it makes us become mean in doing things, of which in other nations like the US, like France, even there are many political parties, but during elections like this, they come in two camps: the right and the left, the Democrats and the Republicans. We should grow. We are talking of elections of 21st century leadership, yet we still go for power tussle. Finally, you see that there's a sort of game put at that level that Cameroonians value their political parties or their independent candidates at the presidential election more than what the citizens are crying down there. And this act is uncalled for. They should better do what will please Cameroonians, because we of the civil society, as we work at ID Solutions Community Communication, we are for justice, peace building and development. We are focused to communicate very well on this presidential election, because the presidential election, or any election that takes the nation, is the seed of justice, the seed of peace, the seed of development, which means we have to watch and shine a light on the type of communication that we're taking place nowadays, because it should be responsible, it should be respectful, it should be humane enough, it should be with all qualities of life, love, trust and confidence, so that we pass the message to other people to behave well as from now and henceforth, and to know that even when the campaign shall start, they should do it normally. The number of candidates is so disappointing.
Yes, we are still going to look into that. We shall move to the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post this morning is carrying as caption: October poll, Bia's candidacy, humiliation for 30 million Cameroonians. I want us to go a bit deeper into the write-up. The Guardian Post this morning is not asking a question, it's asserting. That is, it was on an exclusive interview granted. So let me have a paragraph of what is written here. They say, as Cameroonians navigate the decisive stage of the October 12, 2025 presidential elections, erudite global governance icon and expert on African democracy, Dr. Christopher Fomonyo, has once more mounted the soapbox to voice his opinion on what he qualifies as President Bia's life presidency project. In a recent interview, the senior associate and the regional director for West and Central Africa at the US-based National Democratic Institute, NDI, insisted that President Bia's decision to seek another 7-year term at the age of 92 is humiliation for the 30 million Cameroonians. Now, this is somebody's opinion. It's the opinion of Dr. Christopher Fomonyo. And I want to ask you, you are a Cameroonian, you are on set, you've seen events unfold, you've seen President Bia in the most recent outings, you've seen him, you know his situation. Do you buy the assertion? Do you really think, because they say you do not govern alone. President Bia is going there not to rule alone, he's going to rule with a team, it's teamwork. So do you think that this assertion of his candidacy being an insult to 30 million Cameroonians stands? Can it stand?
It is an insult. I will say it is an insult, and I will give my points. I think there's what we say, they pass away. Yes, when you are in leadership, we are in leadership space, try to pass away, then and leave space for leadership to continue. I'm saying this because, you know, what we say in leadership, you should be active or proactive. When you are active and proactive, you see results. All this time around, Cameroonians have been crying. You know, in the northern region, this is that. In the northwest and the southwest, this is that. If at all our President Paul Biya was active, he takes a time and go to the president and say, my children, this is me. We should discuss what this is, what is happening. Only a visit would have done everything. So governing from institutions, if at all we had strong institutions, even if he remains there for life, nothing will happen. The thing is that the institutions of Cameroon is very weak. The institutions makes a nation. The institutions makes leadership look beautiful. The institutions is what we are clamoring for, that we are propagating for. You know, if we don't revolutionize what is going on in Cameroon, even another person comes there, it will be worse. So we are calling on the political parties and those who are there to know that the position that is going on right now at the helm of the state is really something pitiful, because within the ranks of the CPDM, they themselves would have shown that it is not a one-man syndrome. They would have come up and challenge him within the party ranks and put another person there. That is what we are saying. It is not as if they don't want to speak. No, they want that another person that is energetic from within the party ranks should join the leadership of these days and be going to places visiting. Because, you know, there are times the president is like a father. When children are behind making noise in the house, immediately the father comes in, the children they become quiet. So we want to see it and also go to visit him when he will be retired. Because in reality, he retired since, but Cameroon never understood. But those people around him are just saying, singing and praising him, doing this. He has done a lot. He has already finished his energy, his know-how, his savoir. He has exhausted it. But what do you want him to give again? He has nothing to give to Cameroonians again. He has already done what he has done. We appreciate him for that. Let another person takes the leadership from within the political party of CPTM, and go into and do it. But it is already shown that he has put his candidature. It's not yet late. He can still use some methods of wisdom like King Solomon and change the nation, because he has nothing to lose and nothing to gain. So as a visionary, as somebody who brought democracy in Cameroon, will say here that President Paul Biya still have some months ahead of him that he can withdraw and put another young energetic candidate. Some hours, I think the closure is tomorrow. Is when? Is it today or midnight? Yes. It's still enough time that he can withdraw his candidacy and put energetic guy from the CPDM ranks to lead Cameroonians. This will be something we shall celebrate.
No, to compete.
To compete, no. We shall not only giving him that chance that a energetic young man should come and compete with the other candidates. Cameroonians will celebrate President Paul Biya even before the D-Day.
All right. Now we want to look at municipal update. The media newspaper. The media newspaper is saying that October 12 presidential elections fragmented opposition to challenge Biya in crucial polls. Fragmented opposition, and this is where I want us to lay kind of emphasis. When you see there's already 31 documents already submitted at Elections Cameroon for the upcoming presidential elections. Is this some kind of joke or seriousness? What do you think about the Cameroonian opposition?
Before answering that, I would like to say maybe the fragmented opposition to challenge CPDM, not President Paul Biya. Because as I earlier said, I was pleading that it is still time that he can withdraw his candidacy and put another energetic somebody within the ranks of CPDM to stand as a CPDM candidate. I will now answer you. In reality, the opposition is fragmented, because at this hour, if we are having more than 30-something people going in for the elections, is already a failure. Therefore, they are planning to fail. And I'm so sorry that we see that it is as if it's a type of play, a joke that they are doing, or a jangi that they are going to play, and finally to come out with what they want to come out with it. Because I don't see a nation that has been suffering for over 43 years. If we have the opportunity to come at the decision table, which is the highest magistracy in Cameroon, which is a presidential seat, and the time reaches, people start going into segmentation and left and right, biting each other when they meet at platforms. Maybe this opposition political party with the other one, they will be insulting each other, telling their weakness, doing this, doing that. It's their problem. But I will say that they don't have the population. They don't love the population of this nation. Yes, if at all they do, we would have had just few political parties. That shows that there is democracy in Cameroon. Then when there is exaggeration like this, they see that Cameroonians themselves are beginning to think of something else, not the population. Because anybody that has the interest of the population makes sure you strategize well. They had 7 years backward, 6 years something and months to prepare very well and come out with something tangible. I will, on that point, I will appreciate Professor Maurice Kamto, because
we are coming there.
Yes. Okay. So to finish my point about the candidates, the number of candidates, I know that ELECAM will still go into their documents, then streamline them, and maybe in the days ahead we'll be having few that shall be qualified.
So amongst the 31 candidates that have already registered or submitted their documents at Elections Cameroon, you have Professor Maurice Kamto of the CRM, you have Joshua C of the SDF. Those are the two I want us to look at, because when we talk opposition in Cameroon, those are the two political parties we can say we can really pay attention to. Now I want to ask you, what do you think of Professor Maurice Kamto being who submitted his candidacy under the umbrella of Manidem?
It is something historic that people have applauded and others are criticizing. And I don't see that people should criticize.
What do you think?
For me, what I think is that Professor Maurice Kamto has met his popularity enough. And I think if he changes a team, they say a good player doesn't lack a good team. No, that is why the doors of Manidem has been opened to Professor Maurice Kamto, because they know he's a good player. And I think by going there, his spectators, his sympathizers, his own people that have loved him will follow him. It's like Etofis was playing in Barcelona. He played there for years. After that, he went to Inter Milan. No, all of us followed Etofis there, and yes, as fans. And he went to Anji Kalashkash in Russia. We never knew of that team, but it was thanks to Samuel Etofis, the president of FECA, the present president of FECAFOOT, that we knew that there's a club in Russia. And when he went there, the crowd, the football matches that people are not watching because of challenges or that, people started coming to the field just because of Samuel Etofis. So, and again, he left there and went to Chelsea. You will see his supporters, his sympathizers, his followers followed there. The thing here is, who is leading you? It should not be the name of a political party or whatsoever. The person leading you is where you should focus and follow him till he reaches where he is going. This marriage of Professor Maurice Kamto embracing Manidem, I will also say Manidem is so open to give him this chance, because it was the last chance of Professor Maurice Kamto to come out and stand as presidential candidate. So that, because he's also running out, you know, when they talk of age, he's also aging. So if this years pass, 7 years would have added to his age, and by the other time maybe he will not have that opportunity of standing as a presidential candidate. And again, also Joshua, as I've said,
let's
finish with Maurice Kamto.
Okay,
and to add more on Maurice Kamto, he assured his followers, not his party. He assured his followers, not his party, that he is going to register. When he was saying it, people thought that he must fight from all sort and done to register CRM, but he was saying that he was going to move to another stage according to the law, and the law permits him to get invested by another political party, and Manidem of Anise Ekane have done it well. And I think that is an appeasement of peace, justice, and you see behind it, because if presidential election or any election in the nation doesn't move well, that's where problems begins. Imagine that if, or with all what he did, he never went in. Because I saw some of his excerpt. He said, even it is what? I am going to be a candidate. So he said it with force. You see that he was not saying it alone. He was saying it with some people. When he went to bars, when he he was saying it with some force behind him. So by just the fact that he has gone, it is already appeasement of peace.
He knew what
and
he's
we will
counting
see it
on.
like that. He was
So-
he knew what he was counting on
So now I
before
want to
making those
ask you something. We
transfers.
usually say the opposition is not serious. The opposition do not prepare before time. The opposition in Cameroon, they are all joke. Want to say that these are collaboration between Manidem and the CRM, which brought Manidem to invest President Maurice Kamto under their own party. It's some kind of groundwork that has been done before then.
Yes.
Because we've got threats from the Minister of Territorial Administration and other government people talking about how they will not, considering the fact that they didn't go for the legislative elections. And Maurice Kamto just kept his cool and was doing his groundwork and was doing his collaboration and was preparing, knowing that no matter what comes, he's going to register as a presidential candidate for the 2025 elections. And today it happened, because even the last outing of the Minister of Territorial Administration, his outings are usually not friendly. Brett, do you want to give some credit to Professor Maurice Kamto at least, because you cannot say you just woke up, okay, they have refused me from submitting my documents, can I please submit like 2 days before? No, it means they have been doing something. Do you give it up for Professor Maurice Kamto for that, for having a plan B? Because this plan B, people didn't see it coming. Everybody was looking at it, they're waiting to see him deposit his candidacy as Elekam under the umbrella of the CRM party.
I give credit to Professor Maurice Kamto, of whom we respect a lot, who is a dean's son of this of our nation.
Son.
Yes, a very worthy.
We know Cameroon is bilingual.
Yes. So what I want to put here clearly is that I myself have been following all the debates and seeing that what he did in 2020 would have put him out of the game.
2018.
2020. Because
for legislative.
Yes, for legislative and municipal would have put him out of the game. He saw it coming, and looking at what the bars.
Yeah, he has weighed.
Yes, he has weighed the weight. He studied it very well. That if the bars that they have in the diaspora have been behaving a type, if he's being invested through CRM, there will be some hitches that they can get from it, then and remove him out of the game. So he kept this plan B and has been working it since some years ago. Yes, it's a thorough work of many years. People are seeing it today.
Display of intelligence.
Yes, a display of intelligence and shift of mindset. Yeah. He knew his card, and he was sure of himself.
He kept his joke card.
He kept his joke card somewhere, and when the time reached as he did, he put on the table. There was no way for Elekam, no way for the government to kick him out. So I appreciate and applaud, and he helps us, because we are already afraid of saying, well, how are we going to take aeroplanes and go and stop the bus in the diaspora? How are we going to stop the number of people that are agitating Professor Maurice Kamto? I think that it has brought a level of understanding, a level of like-minded, that everybody is now going to for the competition. And I appreciate him. And I say, Professor Maurice Kamto, good luck, and we pray that you have the opportunity of doing it, because in reality, your cat should also leave the name of Manidem, because Manidem now is your name. And when I saw his photo, as he snapped with the ribbon of Manidem, he was somebody different. He was not the old Maurice Kamto. He was aging younger that day.
All right, so we will look at something that happened on the day that the chairperson of the Social Democratic Front, Joshua Osei, deposited his candidacy at the Bamenda, the Northwest branch of Elections Cameroon.
Yes.
Before this, he had a 3 kilometers walk. 3 kilometers walk. Then went and deposited his documents. So, what can you make out of this gesture by Joshua Osei, the bearer of the flag of the Social Democratic Front?
Joshua Osei has some potentials that people don't see, and that is why he needs communicators around him to sell his image, to shine light on what he is doing. At each stage, it should be daily, or that is progressively report on what communication, on what Joshua Osei is doing. I appreciate his gestures, because he is bringing some test in the leadership world, which was not in the days, some years backward. You see that the test of fitness, he did what we call the test of fitness. Because if you are not fit enough, you can't
can't.
walk
You can't.
3 kilometers distance. Yeah, you see that he did it so well, and he, even not only walking, but he was put to test again that if you arrive there and you are shivering, that your signature doesn't come out. Therefore, they will put him aside. That is what that was the deal.
But
They agreed on that deal.
Is that what happens for
that
every
is what
candidate?
happened. The Honorable Joshua Osei moved, trekked, and at a pace. They were not like moving gently. No, it was at a pace, and that pace, I think, if the video or the thing we would have been here, would have seen it. But they were trekking at a pace. He arrived there without sweating, without shivering, and immediately he arrived. He never wasted time. They said he will sign. He signed, and his signature came out as if he was sitting at his table. I appreciate his gesture, and I think the strategy that remains now is for him to put a good campaign team on ground, because you can do everything up there. If there is no good campaign team on ground, it can't work. So put a good campaign team on ground, put enough funds for campaign, for the media, for all those things should be well drawn, so that you begin to ask. It is put somebody who will be controlling, because at times when leaders want to control everything, they fail. Yes, put somebody, and when you meet this person, you say, okay, today how far have we gone? Then he gives you the updates, and then you put another person to find out if what he's telling you is the truth. That one will make you be more vision, and you will get more vision to lead your people. But when you want to, secretary is you,
that isn't how
this
it
one
works.
is you,
SDF
this one is you, everything is you.
SDF is a well-structured
Good.
party.
So that's why I want to
appreciate
appreciate the structure of SDF, which has made it clearly, because before Osei Joshua went in, they passed through a conference. They made a conference, and he was voted as the candidate to be invested for this upcoming elections. That gesture of getting back confidence from your followers, or from the neck, it was so good. It portrays democracy from inside before going out there. But you can't talk of democracy without practicing. I think SDF, for over the years, they have been practicing democracy, and that is why they know that in democracy there is collaboration, and they have not been hostile in their way of doing things. They do propose, even at the level of the National Assembly. They propose, and it's taken into law, or they look about it and see which one can be taken and which one cannot be taken. When we are talking of toll gates today, it was being proposed by STF, and it was proposed for a genuine cause. It was proposed that money from toll gates will be used in those regions or in those municipal sectors to tar the roads or do maintenance, develop the area with it. But today, the money that they take from the toll gates take the roads to Yaoundé, to some coffers that are unknown. And this is why we are denouncing that this type of thing should stop, because it makes decentralization too difficult, make decentralized collectivity too difficult. If this money was being managed within the status of where that toll gate is placed, I think all this havoc we are having left and right wouldn't have been happening. Because to buy a zinc, you must go to Yaoundé. To do this you must. It is wrong. That is why we have to put things straight, and at least I do appreciate STF for proposing it, but denouncing that the government in place misused that proposal.
All right, we are a few minutes to the end of the program, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll still give the microphone, so you look straight into your microphone. We have less than 3 months to go to the polls, to cast our votes, and of course decide the future of Cameroon. We are living a very decisive moment in the life of Cameroonians, both home and abroad, and Africa is watching. I want to remind us that the depositing of the candidacy of President Paul Biya has made the tongues wag both in Africa and the Western world. Many people have reacted, and we as Cameroonians, we are here in Cameroon, or as Cameroonians, we have the sole responsibilities, our civic duty as citizens to vote, to take part in an elections, free and fair elections, of course. And I want to believe that the Cameroonian youth that constitutes more than 75% of the population of this country, or more than half, if I may say so, or have their voters' cards and ready to vote. If you had to look into the camera, campaigns will start very soon after elections might have or screenshotted all the candidates and selected those to run for campaigns. What are you telling Cameroonians who are watching you from far and near? How should they go about welcoming the campaign teams?
Cameroonians, the campaign teams shall soon be out. It should be a place for dialogue. Because when we talk of dialogue, we did monologue in Yaoundé and it failed. So campaign will be out. We choose it as a place for dialogue. We ask them, what have you done for over the past years to us? Then table your points. Then they table theirs as well. So we are pleading for respectful campaigns in the political parties and within the people of Cameroon, because some citizens, you go around, drink and come and make noise and agitation. Those who are agitating, you should stop agitating. The ball is already there. We only have barely 3 months to go into the polls. So we are pleading, we of the civil society are pleading that you be part of fixing the nation, part of nation building, part of community builder, part of building even your house, because that is where it starts. And those who, when you know that you have taken 2 or 3 bottles of beer, or you have taken your please don't be part of the campaign. Because if you are part of the campaign, you will go and misbehave somewhere, and if you are picked up, you should not blame anybody. So we want responsible campaigns and responsible. Let us think of that campaign. Those are in political parties, they should stop insulting each other. We should make campaigns based on our manifesto, based on our political program, based on our vision, and that will look nice. And also give time when you are still preparing. Allow the time there for civil society to pour out the message to people that they should preach the message of peace, because we are focused on communicating on the upcoming presidential election, because it is where peace starts. You know, a good election that takes place in a nation, it is the seed of peace. It's the seed of justice. It is the seed of development. These 3 can build a good nation if they are taken to serious. So make sure you know your polling station now. Make sure you go to the elecam and collect your voters card. Make sure you know that by going there, it is not going to make noise. Because if you make noise and you are picked up, there is no, only maybe after 24 hours or after a week that they will set you free. Take time and be a community mobilizer like us. Take time and be the preacher of peace. Take time to tell others to behave well,
be a respectful
to be respectful
citizens.
Then the civic rights that we are doing now, because we are preparing that our civic rights doesn't end at voting. We are going to exceed after the elections and do accountability. That is where we are going, and we are begging also candidates, presidential candidates, should also maybe try to pronounce what they have as wealth before going in, so that we Cameroonians can know how to check balances. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Tav, FANKA, Samuel, for being asked this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we saw it in today's edition of the program from the newspaper roundup from around the globe. And of course, to our analytical part of it, you can go to our Facebook page, make your reactions known. Do you leave your comments? If you would like to be a part of our platform, please do not hesitate to send us a message, and we shall get back to you to see that you also come here and share your views as a citizen. I want to say thank you to Nasser. Nasser, you've braved all odds to ensure that this program came to light today. Thank you for the beautiful images and for the good work you're doing behind the machines with your team. And of course, we remain Pan-African Media TV, broadcasting on Creolina Canal 299. On Facebook, you check us on Pan-African Media TV. Go to the YouTube with the same address. And of course, it is on this note that we call it quit on today's edition. Have been yours, one and only FRIDA EGBESON. Until I come here on Friday, stay ciao.
Ciao.